Hello everybody, welcome to StraightA. Dawson here, back with another video here today. This time back to the tier list, but we're randomly ranking teams based on how well or how good of a team I think they are going into the 2024 season. I plan on making a couple videos in a video series with Ben and StraightA. Right now we're in the works of getting things scheduled and lined up for after free agency, after the draft, kind of like more of a kind of ranking, kind of a state of the union for each divisions, Cardinal directions, whatever. But we're still getting that all planned out since we have a little bit of time. I have to go on vacation anyway and all that good stuff. But I just wanted to kind of put my initial thoughts to the test and kind of do a couple rounds of me just ranking, like, okay, what do I think the vibes of this team is going into the next season, and kind of putting them on a tier list randomly, just kind of like spinning, seeing where my vibes are, and just going from there. Because there's a couple differences I do have in my gut of guts about different signings of things, so we'll go from there. But before we get started though, please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment any suggestions down below. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So I'm recording this as of March 24th, 2024. So most of the free agent signings are happening or are done, but there's a couple that still could be happening behind the scenes, either way, or still could happen. So it's not fully compact, but it's basically March 24th. I'll do 3 rounds of this, just kind of spinning and going from there, or maybe 2 rounds. I don't know. We'll kind of go with vibes. But there's the spinner. No, that's not a spinner. That's a woman. Whoa, woman. What? A woman exists? We're going to shuffle this up a little bit and spin the wheel. And again, it's just going to be me randomly ranking these teams based on their free agency moves thus far. So first of all, the Minnesota Vikings. They lost Kirk Cousins. They signed like a downgrade from Danielle Hunter. They're going to be on the lower end. I think they're not one of the worst teams, because I think there's like a couple teams I think I immediately put in 10. I don't think I put them in 9, but they're not. I mean, like, they're the worst in their division. I mean, yeah. Right? I mean, they got to be an 8 for me is what I'm thinking. Because, like, there's not many teams I take below them. You know, I think the Panthers probably below them before, drafting and all that. Seahawks might be down there too. Could be arguably with them. Commanders could be down there with them because they signed a bunch of players for so expensive that are so past their prime. Granted, they're short contracts, but still. I don't know. Maybe they should be 9. I don't know. Giants are probably still down there. My vibe is telling me 8. Yeah, vibe is telling me 8, so we're gonna go with 8. But I'm not very happy with it. If that makes sense. If we spin on one again, I'll just respin it. New England Patriots. This is one. New coaching staff. Not too sure their plans for drafting. They didn't really do much in the free agency. Actually, I'd still probably put them down there. I think with new staff, kind of brings it in my mind to a 9. Because I think there's still a couple teams like the Panthers. I'd put it at 10. I'd probably put the Giants at a 10 right now. Panthers, Giants. I mean, there's not many other teams like Commanders you could argue, but I feel like they're going to be okay-ish. Cardinals, I think they're going to be okay-ish, even though they don't have a whole lot of players. Broncos are arguably down there. Like, okay, Broncos, Commanders, and Cardinals are all kind of in the Vikings tier. If I was maybe thinking about that, maybe I put them at 7, but honestly, I could see the Vikings be the weakest of those teams. Seahawks are probably a little bit above them. But the only 2 teams I can see, Giants and Panthers, definitely being below the Patriots. So, like, this is my vibes going into this next season, based on the free agency so far. Rams, or Patriots again. Rams, okay. Rams actually is a weird one to rank. So, Rams, okay. First of all, I'm still thinking about the Vikings and Patriots now because, man, that's a tough one. Saints might be down there too. Okay, Rams. Oh, man, I have so much hope for them to be good. But also, are they a one-hit wonder? Are they a one-hit wonder? I feel like they're better than some teams right now. But, like, they didn't sign or do much except stay the same. So I'm going to give them a 6. Oh, do I give them a 5? Do I give them a 5? Do I give them a 6? Do I give them a 5? Do I give them a 6? They just lost Aaron Donald. Oh, I got to put them at a 6, don't I? Because there's not a whole lot. Oh, Raiders, also a bad team. I'm noticing more and more bad teams as I'm doing this. I'll put the Rams at 5, 6, 5, 6, 6. 6 is where my vibe is going. But 5 is where my heart's going. So I'm put Rams at 5. Final answer. Man, I don't know. That one's a tough one. Ravens. Dude, Ravens are going to be so sick. They're going to lose first round of the playoffs or whatever first game they play. But they're going to be so sick before then. Honestly, they did. Okay, but in all seriousness, they did make their defense better. And they did bring in Derrick Henry. They brought in a receiver too, didn't they? Outside of Odell. I think they're losing Odell though, right? Okay, I can't exactly remember who all they brought in, but their defense got better, I know, from a couple signings, and they brought in Derrick Henry, and they still were one of the top teams going into this. So the only team above them would be the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs. Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna put them at number 1. Opponent number 1. 49ers and Chiefs are only other 2 arguable teams, but I think they just haven't done much. Granted, the Chiefs did get Marquise Brown and re-sign Chris Jones. So, if Chiefs are probably the number 1 team. 49ers, I think you can argue the Ravens above them. So, I think I'm going to keep the Ravens at number 1, though. Cardinals. See, Cardinals in that 7 spot. So, I'm kind of glad I put the Rams in that 5 spot. Because I think the Cardinals are fine. Like, I think these teams got worse while the Cardinals really didn't do either. You know? That's kind of my vibe for the Cardinals right now. They're at 7. They're like a 7. I think Kyler Murray helps them a lot. Meanwhile, the Colts. Anthony Richardson. They re-signed Michael Pittman. Whoops. What did I do? Whoops. Okay. Colts. I mean, you're right above the Rams, but I have good expectations for you, but I don't have high expectations. So I'm gonna put you at 4. I'm gonna put you at 4. I think it's a respectable number. Oh, give me the Browns. Oh, you're like an easy 3 for me here. Just because, like, I see them being better. I feel like there's a large gap here, right? Is there a large gap? Browns, what'd they do? Defense, they really didn't do anything, right? Offense, they didn't really do anything. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something for the Browns. Browns, they still have Deshaun Watson. I'm going to put them at 3 just because of Deshaun Watson, but I feel like they're going to be better than these teams. Like, I'm thinking Ravens be above the Browns above the Colts above the Rams above the Cardinals above. The Vikings is a tough one because maybe record-wise, but I think the Cardinals can still eke it out, and then Vikings above the Patriots. I think that number 10 spot is actually going to be harder than I think that it is. Yeah, I'm going to put them at number 3, though. That's my vibes right now. That's my vibes. Chargers. Ooh, actually, hold up. Low-key, hold up. Hear me out. It's actually not a bad sign. I think genuinely after all the unless they do something crazy in a draft or they're doing something crazy behind the scenes, they are kind of butchering that team. And it's probably for a rebuild. It probably should be for a rebuild. They keep Justin Herbert and just rebuild around him. I don't hate it. But low-key, the Chargers might be the number 1 draft pick this year. Will they? Is that bold? Is that a bold take? Is that a hot take? Do I need to make a video for that? Do I need to make a Chargers or a 10th seed? I do, arguably. Okay, I will say this. I do see them being better than the Patriots. And I could see them being better than the Vikings. I don't see them being better than the Broncos, though. Like, they're kind of in the Vikings team. But, because they butchered their team. Granted, the Broncos right now are worse than the Chargers. So, like, take that as you will. This is my vibe for going into the season. If the Broncos get selected, I probably would easily put them at, below the Cardinals type deal. Because I think I'd like the Cardinals vibe more than... No, I would argue... I would argue Broncos at 6. I think they have a good core team. But no, low-key, I think they're going to suck for a year, and it'd be awesome, if that makes sense. Like a full turnaround. So I'm going to put them at 10. And I think I'm happy about that. I think I'm happy, except for maybe the Patriots being right above them. Titans, though... Yikes. No, actually, remember, my bold take in the chat, so we have a little group chat for NFL experts here for StraightA, and I put in the chat, I was like, the Titans are going to go 3-14. And this was before L'Jarius Sneed joined the team, so maybe they'll go 4-13. They're still going to be shit. They're going to be so bad. No quarterback, no offensive line. Like, they are the number 10 team for right now. Like, yeah. I mean, I'd put them at number 10. I'd put them at number 6, obviously, to not disrespect any other team here, but the list is busted. The Titans suck. Titans are going to suck this next year. So, unfortunately, this will be our number 2 team, and that is the Los Angeles Rams. We got to respin again to actually decently select a team here. Dallas Cowboys. If it's Cowboys, okay, don't hate it. Cowboys, number 2, actually don't hate it. They've done nothing, but they are still a great team, and they're saving up for... this is what a lot of people are missing. They're saving up for a lot of their more expensive players like Dak, CD, and Micah Parsons. So... Respect to him. All right, I've already been recording 10 minutes. I'm going to reset this, and we're going to get right back into it. Reshuffling, spinning again, and here we are again, 1 through 10. I'm ranking based on vibes. Eagles, people are trying to talk me back into the Eagles. People are trying to. Their O-line strengthened back up. It got weakened, and it strengthened back up. They brought in Barkley. Their weapons are still the same. The defense is about the same, maybe a little worse. So, Eagles could be a better team. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and put them at 3. I don't know what to expect from them this next year. I think they could be like a 10-7 weird team. I don't think they're dominating their division by any means. Do I put them at 4 instead? Is that like a good middle ground, 10-7? Is that like a good 4 team? I think it's a good 4 team. I'm going to put the Eagles at 4. I think it's fair. I think it's a fair ranking for them. Meanwhile, the Raiders... They actually might be 10. I don't know. I know, honestly, the whole AFC West really sucks right now. I mean, they're 10, right? I'm going to spin this, but I'm not going to turn back until I finalize my answer. The Raiders, are they 10? Man, I'm changing my opinion so much, but like the Chargers and Raiders and Broncos all suck. Broncos, I feel like, are better than these two teams. Then again, the Raiders got a new head coach. I feel like they just lost their running back. Their receiver hates it there. They have no quarterback. They brought in somebody for quarterback, but I forgot who. Was that Joe Flacco? Was that who Joe Flacco went to? I'm going to give them a 9. I'm going to give them a 9. Just because I do think like the Chargers are worse. The Patriots are worse. Commanders are probably not worse. Panthers. Are the Panthers worse? I guess the Panthers are worse. No, I mean, yeah, the Panthers are worse. Do I give them an 8 then? No, I'll give them a 9. Houston Texans. Oh, okay. So I'm of the mind that I think the Texans are not going to win the division again this year, but it's not because I think they're going to suck. I just think the Colts are going to be really good. Where are the Texans here? But with that said, they still could easily be above the Eagles. Oh man, no, you know what? I put the Texans above the Eagles. I have higher expectations for the Texans than the Eagles. But then again, okay, all right. Hear me out. I think the Texans had a really strong year. Now they're going to back up a little bit, not be as good, but still be good, and still get like a 7 seed into the playoffs or something like that. They're going to do well in the playoffs, maybe even win a game again. Then they're going to be really, really good. That's what I think their trajectory is going to be. So I'm going to put them below the Eagles, but a respectable below the Eagles. You know. I think it's a respectable below the Eagles, you know? Green Bay Packers, dude. I'm high on the Green Bay Packers. I think the Green Bay Packers are going to be so good. I think they're such a well-coached team with good receivers, good defense, promising quarterback. I think things are starting to line up. Man, but are they just that one spark wonder? I'm going to put them at 3, despite my better judgment. I think the Packers could be a really good team. But do I think they're better than the Eagles? Do I think they're better than the Texans? Oh, I can't think. I can't say that. No, okay. All right. I can't say. I can't go that hard. I can't go hard for the Packers. They're going to be right below the Texans and the Eagles. Man, do I put them above right now? As long as I don't see the next answer, I can put them anywhere I want. Oh, maybe they're right in that Texans tier, but like right below them. So I think 6th spot right now is perfect for them. Patriots. Right. The Patriots got to be 10. Right. New head coach, quarterback situations. Whatever, no receivers, defenses, they gotta be 10, right? There's a couple teams like Panthers and Chargers you can argue with. Panthers, Chargers, and Giants. Even though I think I can see them being all right. Okay. I'll put the Patriots 10. Patriots 10. Just for the first year. I think they're gonna get way better in the future, but we'll see. Saints. Yikes! Actually, that's an 8 team. It's an easy 8, but like, it's only because Derek Carr's there. And there's Chris Olave. There's like a good core there. There's not a whole lot else to love. I think they're going to be the worst NFC South team. No, Panthers and Saints will be fighting for that lowest spot. Buccaneers, though. Hear me out. I don't necessarily think this. I think this list is technically broken based on what my rules are. But, like, I could see them being above the Texans next year. Because I think that team is, like, ready to win type deal. I think you can argue Bucks versus Eagles. I'll be fully honest with you. Because that's a good offense, good offensive line, good defense. Head coach, it seems competent. I don't hate the 3 spot, but, like, I still think this would be better, you know? And I could see an argument for this type deal. But, like, I don't hate them being at 3. So we'll put them at 3 because I definitely like it better than them being at 7. Below the Packers. Oh, dude, do I put them at 7? Is that like I do think they're above the Saints. Do I think they're below the Packers though? This is tough, dude. This is my expectations going for each of these teams. I'm getting my mind wrapped around it right now. Baker versus Love. I take Love. Receiving core. I take the Bucks in every category. And I think you can argue this. But do I think they're maybe below more the Texans, or do I think they're more above the Texans? I think they're above the Texans, right? I just think they're more established. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a long-term solution, but they have a really good core there I think people disrespect on. Buffalo Bills, I'll put them at 2. Just because by default, I think they're still a good team. They may have unhappy people, but like, they got a little worse, but they didn't get that much worse. So, and this is a more upper tier gap right now. Cardinals, I think it's 7. 7's fine. I think I'd probably take the Saints slightly above them, but like, I'm not, bad with it. Jets at number 1. Jets at number 1. Dude, hear me out. Hear me out. This list actually has some hot takes here. Jets being number 1, being good, is a hot take. Bucks being number 3, being better than the Eagles, I think it's a hot take, but I think that could happen. Cardinals above the Saints, that one's a little shaky, but like I don't hate this actually. I don't hate this at all. These are all arguable. Like Jets and Bills arguable for number 1 and 2. Bucks, Eagles, Texans arguable 3, 4, 5. Packers are perfect. Cardinals and Saints can fight for 7, 8. And Raiders and Patriots. I think this is a decent list. I think it is. I'm gonna pat myself in the back a little bit for that one. But we still have one more final time. Maybe I can get the perfect list, the one that's gonna hit just right. Shuffle, 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 spin. Going back to back. Done. Is one more time. One more for the one time. One more for the one time. Lions, dude. Okay. Here's my opinion on Lions. I think they're gonna be just as good, but they're still just going to be upper echelon good. They're not going to be the juggernaut. So I'm going to put them at 3. I think 3 is a solid, instinct spot for me. While it's spinning, I'm going to still think. Because they're not number 1. There's a core of 3 or 4 teams I think are number 1. I think they're right in that number 2, number 3 range for me. But, I think I'm going to be conservative and put them at 3. I think they're good. I think they still have a great core of a team here. But I think they're just never going to be, the team, I feel like they're always going to be the underdogs. And that's why I think 3 is an appropriate spot for them. Yeah. Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins unhappy there, but he's still there. Bengals at 4. Bengals at 4. And the reason I'm going to put them at 4, while I spin this, reason I think they're going to be a 4 team for me, is I think that Joe Burrow's going to carry a lot. I think the receiving core is still going to be good. I just think their offensive line, it's getting better and better. I think they could be the team next year, but I feel like we've been saying that for a couple years now, and I hope they are the team again. Their defense is still not great. I think I would easily take the Lions above them, but again, they're kind of in that easily 3 spot. Instinctively, if I got the Bengals first, I put them easy at 3. I think that's where I would easily put them, but I think I'm more comfortable with them being 4 at this point in the list. Los Angeles Rams, gonna put them at 6 at the rate this list's going. Offense is gonna be amazing. Defense is gonna struggle. Do I even put them at 7? No, they're better than a lot of the other teams I've been getting. Instinctively, I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 teams that are better than them right now. 14, 15. So, they're about middle of the pack. So, I'm going to put them at 6. I don't know if I necessarily feel amazing about that, but I don't feel awful. Denver Broncos, all right. I'm going to put you at 8. I'm going to put them at 8. Because I think they're better than the Giants. I think they're better than the Panthers. I think they're arguable for the Commanders area. I think that they're better than the Raiders and Chargers on paper. Though the Raiders, I'd be more inclined to hear debates about. The Cardinals are probably around that range too. I think the Patriots are a little bit worse. Do I put them at 9? Do I feel like we're going to get a better list? I feel like we're getting a better list. I'm going to put them at 9 for this one. I'm going to put them at 9. Just for this one. Oh, of course we're going to get we're going to get both these teams. Oh, no, I should have put them at 8. Guys, can I get an amendment? Can I put the... Because Titans are easy. 10th. They're probably the worst team I got on there. Oh, less. Rams. All right, we can spin again. Gosh. Dang, yeah, I probably should have come at 8. 8 would have been perfect right now for this list. Cowboys, though, again, they're going to be number 2. Again, I know that's a controversial opinion. People are going to get mad in the comments if they ever see this, and it's going to be like, oh my gosh, you love the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys. They're fine. They're cool. But I can't, I'm not going to put them below the Bengals and above the rank, in that area. I feel like they're still going to be one of the best teams going into it. Their defense is mostly intact. Their offense is mostly intact. They were arguably in that Lions tier anyway. Lions got slightly better. Sure, you can argue. But I think on any given day, both those teams can win. And I think arguably the Cowboys are a better team. I think the Lions are I think the Lions are a more favored team, and they can win riskier games. But the Cowboys, I think, are a better team. Sorry, sue me. I'm sorry. San Francisco 49ers are the team. I think they're mostly intact. They lost Chase Young. That's only their biggest loss, and that was not even really that loss for them. They're the team on this list right now. Detroit Lions, already got them. So right now, we need some more mid-tier to lower-tier teams. Miami Dolphins. You know what? This isn't that much of a hot take. Do I think the Dolphins are even better than the Rams this year? Their defense got worse. Their offensive line's fine. Do I think they're worse than the? No, I think they're right below the Bengals, right above the Rams. I think I think this list is perfect right now, until we get a 7 and 8. Raiders. Okay, you know what? I'm not unhappy with that. I think the Raiders are arguably better than the Broncos. I'm not gonna be sad if someone says, "Oh, the Broncos are, worse." Chicago Bears. Hold up. Oh, is this list perfect? Hold up. Oh, I gotta see it to believe it. Because 49ers, Cowboys, Lions, Bengals. I think, and then Dolphins. I think that's perfect. Now we're getting into the territory of like, do I think the Rams or Bears are better? Because Dolphins are definitely better than the Bears, just because the Bears are unproven. Bears also don't have Caleb Williams yet, so that could be argued, but they're expected to. So we're not gonna be too hard to get against it. I think the Bears are better than the Rams this year. Sue me, Braden's gonna shoot me, but I think the Bears probably at 6 and Rams at 7 would be the spots. But otherwise, I don't hate this list. I think this list is actually perfect in that regard. Because I think I can argue. I think someone can argue Raiders above the Broncos. I think the Broncos are better. But again, don't shoot me. I get it. So this is the list. I'm okay with this. This is probably the best list we've had, and I'm happy with it. That's kind of just some initial thoughts and expectations for the free agency in next season. Of course, we have a long off season ahead, but there's going to be plenty of videos ahead of time. So hope you guys look forward to that. StraightA Dawson is out of here. See you guys later.